Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 1, May-June 2020. Let's get started. Gabriela designs the seating layout for a new theater. There are 3 sections of seats A, B, and C. Section A has 152 seats. Section B has 12.5% more seats than Section A. Section C has 3/8 of the number of seats in Section A. Show that the number of seats in Section B is 171. The number of seats in Section B is equal to 152 plus 12.5% of 152, which gives us 171. Show that the total number of seats is 380. First, let's find the number of seats in Section C, which is 3/8 times 152. This gives us 57. So now, the total number of seats is equal to the number of seats in Section A, which is 152, plus the number of seats in Section B, which is 171, plus the number of seats in Section C, which is 57. This gives us 380. Write down and simplify the ratio of the number of seats in each section A is to B is to C. The number of seats in sections A is to B is to C is 152 is to 171 is to 57. The highest common factor for these numbers is 19. So when we divide through the ratio by 19, we get 8 is to 9 is to 3. In Section A, there are 12 seats in the front row. Each row has 2 more seats than the row in front of it. Work out the number of rows for the 152 seats in Section A. If the first row has 12 seats, then it means the second row has 12 plus 2, which is 14 seats. And the third row has 14 plus 2, which is 16 seats, and so on. When we sum up all the numbers up to the number of seats in row 8, we get 152. This means there are 8 rows for the 152 seats. For a concert in the theater, the ticket prices are in the ratio A is to B is to C equals 9 is to 7 is to 4. A ticket for Section C costs $6. Show that a ticket for Section B costs $10.50. We know the ratio B is to C is 7 is to 4, and we've also been given the cost of a ticket for Section C to be $6, and we want to find the cost of a ticket for Section B. This is what we are calling X. When we cross multiply and make X the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to $10.50. Find the cost of a ticket for Section A. We know the ratio A is to C is 9 is to 4, and we also know the cost of a ticket for Section C is $6. We want to find the cost of a ticket for Section A, which is what we are calling Y. When we cross multiply and make Y the subject, this is what we have, which is equal to $13.50. The table shows the number of tickets sold in each section. Calculate the total amount received from the ticket sales. From the previous parts of the question, we know the cost of a ticket for each section. And so the total amount received from the ticket sales would be 120 times $13.50 plus 136 times $10.50 plus 30 times $6. When we type this into the calculator, we get $3,228. The concert costs $4,500 to organize. Calculate the amount received from the ticket sales as a percentage of the $4,500. When setting up a percentage, the value after the off, which in this case is $4,500, becomes the denominator. So we have $3,228 divided by $4,500 times 100%, which is equal to 71.7% rounded to three significant figures. The grid shows a point E and four quadrilaterals A, B, C, and D. Write down the mathematical name of shape A. Shape A is a kite. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. When we look at shapes A and B, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because both shapes have exactly the same size. The only difference is they are located on different parts of the grid. So now all we need to do is find the translation vector. From the illustration, we see that the translation vector is 4, 9. And so the full description for the transformation will be translation by the vector 4, 9. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape C. When we look at shape A and shape C, they have the same size but their orientation is different, which means the transformation is either a reflection or a rotation. In this case, we see that shape C is a mirror image of shape A in the line x equals 0.5, and so the full description for the transformation will be reflection in the line x equals 0.5. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape D. When we look at shape A and shape D, they have the same size but their orientation is different, which means the transformation is either a reflection or a rotation. When we rotate shape A 90 degrees in the clockwise direction, we get shape D. For a 90-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We connect at least two corresponding points on both shapes. Then we draw the perpendicular bisectors of these lines. The intersection point of the bisectors is the center of rotation, which is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation would be rotation 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. Write down the coordinates of point E. When we map point E onto the x-axis, we get -5. And when we map it onto the y-axis, we get -6. And so we have -5, -6. On the grid, draw the image of shape A after an enlargement by scale factor 3, center E. First, we need to mark the center of enlargement, which is point E. Then we need to move each vertex on shape A such that we are able to reproduce the enlarged image of the shape. Let's pick point A. To move from the center of enlargement to point A, we move 2 units upwards. Since the scale factor is +3, we are going to move 3 times the distance we moved initially and in the same direction to pin the new position of point A. This means we move 6 units upwards. After repeating the same process for all the vertices on shape A, we are now able to map out the enlarged image of shape A. The diagram shows the net of a triangular prism on a 1 cm square grid. Write down the mathematical name for the type of triangle shown on the grid. All the 3 sides of the triangles are equal, and so they are equilateral triangles. Measure the perpendicular height of the triangle. On the grid, when we measure the perpendicular height of the triangle, we get 4.3 centimeters. Calculate the area of the triangle. Here is the formula for the area of a triangle. The base B of the triangle is 5 centimeters and the perpendicular height h is 4.3 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 10.75 centimeters squared. Calculate the volume of the triangular prism. Here is the formula for the area of a prism. In this case, the cross-sectional area of the prism is a triangle, whose area we found to be 10.75 centimeters squared. From the grid, we get the length of the prism to be 6 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 64.5 centimeters cubed. Complete the table of values for y equals 7 plus 2x minus x squared. When we plug in x equals -1 into the equation, we get y equals 4. For x equals 0, we get y equals 7. And for x equals 3, we get y equals 4. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 7 plus 2x minus x squared for x is greater than and equal to -2 and less than and equal to 4. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the graph. The line of symmetry of the graph is the line that splits the graph into two mirror halves. On the grid, we see that this line is x equals 1. Use your graph to solve the equation 7 plus 2x minus x squared equals 0. In other words, we are to find the x-coordinate of the intersection point between the graph of 7 plus 2x minus x squared and the line y equals 0, which is the x-axis. On the grid, we see that the x-coordinates of these points are -1.8 and 3.8. Using the integers from 60 to 75 only, find a multiple of 17. Within the given range, 68 is a multiple of 17. 17 times 4 gives us 68. Find the prime numbers. Within the given range, 61 is one of the prime numbers. It has only two factors, 1 and itself. Find the square root of 4,489. When we type square root of 4,489 into the calculator, we get 67. Find 4 cubed. When we type 4 cubed into the calculator, we get 64. Find cube root of 274,625. When we type this into the calculator, we get 65. Find 2 raised to the power -3 times 24 squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 72. Write down the reciprocal of 7. The reciprocal of any number is 1 over the number. So the reciprocal of 7 is 1 over 7. Write 3.72194 correct to 3 decimal places. The third number after the decimal point is 1. The number after 1, which is 9, is greater than 5. So we add 1 to 1, giving us 2. The numbers after 1 become 0. Since these zeros come after the decimal point, they are insignificant. So we have 3.722 rounded to 3 decimal places. Find the lowest common multiple of 8 and 14. First, we need to write 8 and 14 as a product of their prime factors. Then we map their prime factors onto a Venn diagram. The product of the elements in the Venn diagram gives us the LCM. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 7, which is equal to 56. The average temperature at the North Pole is -23 degrees Celsius in January and -11 degrees Celsius in March. Find the difference between these temperatures. To get the difference, we simply subtract the lower temperature, which is negative 23 degrees Celsius, from the higher temperature, which is negative 11 degrees Celsius. This gives us 12 degrees Celsius. The average temperature in July is 28 degrees Celsius higher than the average temperature in March. Find the average temperature in July. We are told the average temperature in July is 28 degrees Celsius higher than the average temperature in March, which simply means the average temperature in July is equal to 28 degrees Celsius plus the average temperature in March, which is negative 11 degrees Celsius. This gives us 17 degrees Celsius. The diagram shows a circle, center O, radius 11 centimeters. C, F, G, and H are points on the circumference of the circle. The line AD touches the circle at C and is parallel to the line EG. B is a point on AD and angle ABO is 140 degrees. Write down the mathematical name of the straight line AD. The line AD touches the circle at one point, so it's called a tangent. Find in terms of pi the circumference of the circle. Here is the formula for the circumference of a circle. The radius r of the circle is 11 centimeters. 2 times 11 is 22, and so the circumference is 22 pi centimeters. Work out angle FOH. Lines AD and EG are parallel, with OB as the transversal, so these two are interior angles. Interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So we have angle FOH plus 140 degrees equals 180 degrees. When we subtract 140 from both sides, we get angle FOH to be 40 degrees. Calculate the length of the minor arc FH. For the minor arc FH, theta must be less than 180 degrees. In this case, theta is 40 degrees. So to get the arc length, we apply the arc length formula, which is theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi r, where theta is 40 degrees and the radius r is 11 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 7.68 centimeters, rounded to 3 significant figures. Give a reason why angle BCO is 90 degrees. This is because this angle is formed between a radius and a tangent. Show that BC equals 13.11 centimeters, correct to 2 decimal places. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So to get this angle, we subtract 140 degrees from 180 degrees, which gives us 40 degrees. Triangle BOC is a right-angled triangle. So to get BC, we can apply SOHCAHTOA. This gives us tan 40 degrees equals 11 centimeters over BC. When we make BC the subject, this is what we have. When we type this into the calculator, this is what we get, which is approximately 13.11 centimeters, rounded to 2 decimal places. Calculate BH. BH equals OB minus OH. OH is the radius of the circle, which is 11 centimeters. We need to find OB. To get OB, we apply SOHCAHTOA to the triangle BOC. This gives us sin 40 degrees equals 11 centimeters over OB. When we make OB the subject, this is what we have. Now that we have OB, BH is 11 over sin 40 minus 11 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 6.11 centimeters, rounded to 3 significant figures. 20 students from College A each ran 5 kilometers. The times correct to the nearest minute are recorded. Complete the stem and leaf diagram. We've been given the key to be 3/4 represents 34 minutes. For 32, the first number is 3, which means we need to come to this line and write the number after 3, which is 2. For 51, the first number is 5, which means we need to come to this line and write the number after 5, which is 1. We need to repeat the same process for all the numbers. When we are done, we need to ensure that the numbers on each line are arranged in ascending order. Find the range of the times. The range is equal to the highest number, which is 53, minus the lowest number, which is 21. 53 minus 21 gives us 32. Find the median of the times. The median is the middle number. To get the position of the middle number, we apply the formula half n plus 1, where n in this case is 20. This gives us 10.5. This means the median is between the 10th and 11th numbers. From the stem and leaf diagram, the 10th number is 37 and the 11th number is 39. And so the median is 37 plus 39 divided by 2, which is equal to 38. Complete the bar chart for the times of the students. From the stem and leaf diagram, the number of students with times from 30 to 39 minutes is 9. The number of students with times from 40 to 49 minutes is 6. And the number of students with times from 50 to 59 minutes is 2. 20 students from College B each ran 5 kilometers. Their times correct to the nearest minute are recorded and the results are shown in the table. Complete the table. To get the sector angle for each category, we divide the number of students in a given category by the total number of students, which is 20, times 360 degrees. The first category has already been completed for us. For the second category, we have 8 over 20 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 144 degrees. Then for the final category, we have 7 over 20 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 126 degrees. Complete the pie charts. Using a protractor, we first measure an angle of 90 degrees for the number of students with a time between 30 to 39 minutes. Then we measure an angle of 144 degrees for the number of students with a time between 40 to 49 minutes. The remaining angle, which is 126 degrees, would be for the remaining students with a time between 50 to 59 minutes. Write down 2 comments comparing the times of students from College A with the times of students from College B. In part AIII, we got the median time for College A to be 38 minutes. By measuring 180 degrees from the top of the pie chart, we get the median for College B to be in the range 40 to 49 minutes. So we can say that the median time in College B is higher than the median time in College A. From part AIV, we see that the modal time for College A is 30 to 39 minutes. From part BI, we see that the modal time for College B is 40 to 49 minutes. So we can say that the modal time in College B is higher than the modal time in College A. Simplify 3c minus 5d minus c plus 2d. When we group like terms, 3c minus c is 2c, minus 5d plus 2d is minus 3d. Solve the equation 12x minus 7 equals 23. When we add 7 to both sides of the equation, we get 12x equals 30. And when we divide both sides by 12, we get x equals 2.5. Multiply out 9 times 3 minus x. When we expand the brackets, 9 multiplies each element in the bracket. So 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times negative x is negative 9x. A equals A plus B times h over 2. Work out the value of h when big A equals 38.64, small a equals 5.5, and b equals 3.7. First, let's make h the subject of the equation. When we multiply both sides of the equation by 2, this is what we have. And when we divide both sides by a plus b, we get h equals 2a over a plus b. Big A has been given as 38.64, small a has been given as 5.5, and b has been given as 3.7. When we type this into the calculator, we get 8.4. Alphonse is X years old and Beatrice is Y years old. Use this information to write down two equations in X and Y. 3 times Alphonse's age, which is 3x, is equal to 5 times Beatrice's age, which is 5y. So we have 3x equals 5y. Twice Beatrice's age, which is 2y, is 4 years more than Alphonse's age, which is x plus 4. So we have 2y equals x plus 4. Find the age of Alphonse and the age of Beatrice. Alphonse's age is x and Beatrice's age is y. So to get x and y, we need to solve the two equations we got from the previous question simultaneously. We will be using the substitution method. So first, let's make x the subject in equation 2. This gives us x equals 2y minus 4. Now we can plug in x into equation 1. This gives us 3 times 2y minus 4 equals 5y. When we expand the brackets, 3 times 2y is 6y. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. When we group like terms, we get y equals 12. Now that we have y, x is equal to 2 times 12 minus 4, which is equal to 20. Use set notation to describe the shaded region in each Venn diagram. For this Venn diagram, both sets A and B have been shaded, so this region can be described as A union B. For this Venn diagram, the region common to sets A and B has been shaded, so this region can be described as A intersection B. Complete the Venn diagram to show the elements of these sets. First, we need to list the elements in the universal set, set F and set O. From these lists, we see that the elements common to sets F and O are 1 and 3. Now that we have identified the common elements in sets F and O, we see that in addition to 2, the remaining elements in set F are 4, 6, and 12. For set O, in addition to 7, the remaining elements are 5, 9, 11, 13, and 15. The elements in the universal set that are not in sets F and O are 10, which has already been filled in for us, 8, and 14. Write down one number that is in set O but not in set F. From the Venn diagram, we see that one of the elements in this region is 7. Find the number of elements in F union O. From the Venn diagram, we see that the number of elements in this region are 12 in total. A number is chosen at random from the universal set E. Work out the probability that this number is in set O. This probability is equal to the number of elements in set O, which is 8, divided by the total number of elements, which is 15. Point B is 36 kilometers from point A on a bearing of 140 degrees. Using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 4 kilometers, mark the position of point B. First, we need to use the scale conversion to convert the actual distance, which is 36 kilometers, to the scale distance, which we get to be 9 centimeters. Now, using a protractor, we measure an angle of 140 degrees from the north of point A. Then we mark the position of point B along this bearing such that B is 9 centimeters from point A. Point C is 28 kilometers from A and 20 kilometers from B. The bearing of C from A is less than 140 degrees. Using a ruler and compasses only, construct triangle ABC. Show all your construction arcs. Using the scale conversion, 28 kilometers translates to 7 centimeters and 20 kilometers translates to 5 centimeters on the scale drawing. So first, we measure the width of the compass to be 7 centimeters. Then we stand at point A and construct an arc. Then measuring the width of the compass to be 5 centimeters, we stand at point B and construct another arc. The intersection point of the arcs is the point C. So now we draw lines to connect points A, B and C to complete the triangle. Measure angle ACB. Using a protractor, when we measure angle ACB, we get 95 degrees. From the mark scheme, this angle should be between 38 degrees and 42 degrees. I think it's either an error in the mark scheme or there's something I might be missing. Drop your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.